Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Washington Times that was written by Stephen Dinan. I hope I'm not butchering that. And was published on September 11th. Judge orders Maryland bar to investigate lawyers who helped Clinton delete emails. I say good, because they're going to end up ratting her out to save their own fucking skins. Okay, because if her ass is behind bars, their asses ain't going to be bumped off. Odds are. You would think in theory. Because, you know, there is a trail of bodies that has followed the Clintons for decades. With more than a few convenient double tap suicides. Double taps to the heart, double taps to the heads, and yet somehow they were ruled suicides. I kid you not on that. So let's get into the article here. Annapolis, Maryland. A Maryland judge ordered the state bar to open an investigation Monday into the 3 lawyers who helped former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton delete her private emails. And as I said, good. Anne Undrell County Circuit Court Judge Paul F. Harris Jr. said the complaints lodged against David E. Kendall, Cheryl Millis, and Heather Samuelson were egregious, and the state bar couldn't dismiss them as frivolous. Oh, when you have a judge saying that, I love it. There are allegations of destroying evidence, Judge Harris said at a hearing Monday morning. He said the state's ruling will require the bar to conduct investigations no matter who raises the complaint and can't brush aside the accusations. I love that. Oh, no matter how hard they tried, this person was more determined. That's fucking beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, isn't life a bitch? At least for them these days. Because they're starting to sweat. The judge made the announcement a day before Mrs. Clinton's releases her latest book, What Happened, and begins a month-long book tour attempting to explain how she lost an election she thought she had secured. You mean rigged, bought off, and assumed the fix that they had in was sufficient enough to win? Well, that wasn't the case. She had a dream, and her dream was met with a fiery ball of flames. The Maryland bar complaint was brought by Ty Clevenger, a lawyer who has pursued sanctions against Mrs. Clinton and her legal team in several venues, and who is also pressing the FBI to release details of its investigation into the former top diplomat. Yes, so those of you who might have heard of it, those of you who don't know, this individual filed a Freedom of Information request regarding Hillary's emails and that, and he was sent back a rejection that said, oh, there isn't much public interest. And I find that funny every time I think about it. That's one thing that everyone in the alternative media keeps coming back around to at some point with everything that's going on. Oh, well, this was released in the WikiLeaks. So, to say there's no public interest is a complete crock of shit. So anyway, bars in Arkansas and the District of Columbia, as well as federal courts, brushed aside requests from Mr. Clevenger, who is seeking to have Mrs. Clinton and her attorney suspended or disbarred. And I love how her home state, where she's still got a lot of fucking clout, even though she's from New York, she's from fucking Arkansas, the District of Columbia, the District of Criminals, that's Democrat-controlled, and including federal as well as federal courts, which I'm assuming had Obama or Clinton appointed judges, maybe baby Bush, because some of his judges were not exactly what a Republican shoulda, woulda, coulda chose. So yeah, those are things I wouldn't doubt. I mean, this is just funny that they would brush it aside and try to act like, oh, it's no big fucking deal. I mean, and those particular places should be a given that they're going to do it. I mean, but to act so blatant with no legal basis to do what they did, I mean, that goes to show you their corruption. But Judge Harris said Mr. Clevenger's request appears to have merit and that Maryland will have to at least launch an investigation and demand a response from the lawyers, Mr. Clevenger said. Beautiful. Let's see them try to slime and weasel their way out of this one. Being Clinton lawyers, they're going to try their damnedest, and they might be able to weasel their way out, but the evidence is too overwhelming against them. And the disbarment would be grounds for the actual criminal investigation, at least a foundation to build off of. Mr. Clevenger said he won another victory in recent days when Justice Department agreed that his case met the threshold for intense public interest. Well, yeah, the Justice Department had to do that because the FBI is like, oh, no interest here. There's nothing to see. People don't care. The FBI had denied an open records request into its investigation on grounds that there was not sufficient public interest to overcome Mrs. Clinton's privacy rights. She's a public fucking figure who did a criminal act. Where does this conflict with... where does her privacy rights outweigh the rights of the general public? Okay? And their right to know of her criminality. Because they have a right to know about it. Hate to break it to you there, but that's the case. And I'm not, I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it or put it any other way, That's the bottom line. Mr. Clevenger appealed to the Justice Department, which ruled that it would expedite his request, signifying it accepts his claims of public interest. Mrs. Clinton used a secret email account tied to a server she kept at her home in New York to conduct official business while she was head of the State Department, though it was against department policy. Oh, she did more than that with it because she took classified and top secret and confidential information. If it was only supposed to be for people with certain clearances or minimum clearance or higher, she fucking had it on it because she was a sleazy bitch who wanted to run her shit off the books, and the left wanted to elect her. I mean, come on. That's fucking scary that with this shit they wanted to fucking still elect her. This is so fucking bad. The FBI said the email arrangement risked national security, but it declined to recommend charges. The Bureau said Mrs. Clinton was too inept to understand the risks she was running. If she's too inept to fucking handle classified material, again, these people with that wanted to vote for her. And it's not the FBI's grounds. It's not their realm to decide whether or not someone is charged. They're there to do an investigation, period. End of fucking story. It's up to the Justice Department to decide whether or not she's prosecuted. After the arrangement was spotted, Mrs. Clinton belatedly returned thousands of emails to the government and deleted the rest, which she claimed were personal. Wasn't your place to decide, bitch, when you're dealing with government information. But yet, people just went, okay, when she fucking slings that shit to the people on the left. Oh, well, it was personal. And they're all like, okay, I'm with her. Pussy hat wearing morons. And they claim to be the intellectual, enlightened, and clued in ones. The false left-right paradigm leads to this stupid fucking shit. It leads to the dumbing, and I'm not talking like actual dumbing down on the note of their intelligence, but the mob mentality kind of thing from it does kind of lead to a dumbing down of people. Normal, rational people lose that ability to think rationally. And it leads to this fucked up type of fucking shit where people go, okay, well, oh, nothing to see here, okay. You know, I mean, it's a little fucked up that people are that easily swayed. The FBI probe, though, found thousands of emails that were work-related but weren't turned over to the government. Well, of course, because they made her look crooked and as criminal as a fucking sleazeball can be. Because she is a sleazeball. She's a scumbag. Mrs. Clinton had her attorney scour her account, and that was what landed them in potential jeopardy. Well, yeah, because they were kind of committing a crime. Her email behavior turned out to be a major problem for her presidential bid, with an FBI investigation and a rolling production of her messages during the primary race in the midst of the general election campaign. The most important of the mistakes I made was using personal email, Mrs. Clinton acknowledged in an interview with CBS Sunday Morning ahead of her book launch. No, you don't think your biggest mistake was something like Benghazi? Or, you know, the fact that people know your true colors from back in the day when you were saying Keene, New Hampshire, and people were like, when you fucking said that blacks were super predators? Because it wasn't those things and a lot of other stuff that's happened over the years with you. Because I'll tell you right now, that had way more fucking weight than your email server. Your email server was the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay? That was the last thing. That was the, I don't want to say majority, but a large number. Okay? You know, especially on the right, but on the left as well. The whole email thing was, besides the straw, it was an awakened type of moment. You know, people did just that. The information, I should say, did just that. It awakened them. What was in the emails awakened them. Because more than a few people went to go look at them in WikiLeaks, even though your buddy Chris Como was like, it's illegal to look at them on WikiLeaks, but because we're the press, we have a special exemption. How much did that cost you, bitch? Did he get to shove his nose up your ass, being the little brown noser he is? I mean, come on now. It was a lot of fucking things. The emails were just the fucking last straw, last step. I said it before, I'll say it again. That was my responsibility. It was presented in such a negative way, and I never could get out from under it, and it never stopped, Mrs. Clinton said. Oh, God. Hillary, you're a delusional bitch woman. Oh, fuck me. Oh, my God. It was presented in such a negative way. How can you, committing multiple fucking crimes against this country, just with the emails, I'm not talking about like Benghazi or anything else, how can that be portrayed in a positive fucking way, you dumb fucking bitch? How? I would love for you to explain that, just so you can justify that fucking cockamamie bullshit. I would love to hear it. If you ever want to talk, I'm all ears. Actually, better not, because you'd probably want to kill me after. Fucking psychopath. Oh, wait. No, you're more of a sociopath. I apologize. Don't want to mislabel you. The Maryland Attorney Grievance Commission tried to sideline Mr. Clevenger last year, arguing that he had no personal knowledge of the allegations, so it wouldn't investigate. Oh, God. You know, I see shit like that, and it just makes me think of the old joke of, what's 1,000 attorneys at the bottom of the sea? A good start. Or bottom of the ocean, depending on where you live. They're covering for her. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's pathetic. On Monday, Alex Rode, a lawyer representing the Grievance Commission, said she was bound by confidentiality rules that prevented her from explaining why the panel had determined the complaint was frivolous. Yeah, because heaven forbid there's a little fucking transparency, right? Am I wrong? Heaven forbid that. Because if you've got transparency, you can't pull your fucking sleazy shit that you tried to pull, can you? Oh, that's right, you can't. Because all of these complaints are confidential, I am able to put that before the court, she said. Yeah, right. They don't know who fucking made the claim, my hairy ass. Oh, that's fucking bad. That's just such a lame excuse. Judge Harris rejected that explanation, saying it was the first time the commission had used the term frivolous to explain a decision. He also said the rules were clear that the commission needed to investigate. Yeah. So, even with them trying to pull the shit that they did, they couldn't get away from it. I just think this is a rather easy decision at this point, he said. The court is ordering Bar Counsel to investigate. An email sent to Mr. Kendall wasn't immediately returned Monday. An attempt to reach Ms. Mills through the Clinton Foundation, where she serves on the board, also wasn't successful. Of course not. Why? Because they're going to duck this shit worse than a deadbeat daddy dodging a fucking process server. Okay? They are going to dodge this like you will not believe. But hopefully someone, you know, if we use dodgeball as an analogy for this, whether they are doing the dodging thing, hopefully someone is able to fucking do the proverbial crotch shot to them and take them down. That's all one can hope for, right? Anyway, this is the Constitutionalist Libertarian. If you like the video, definitely upvote it or give it a thumbs up, depending on the platform you're watching on. If you like my content and would like to see more of it, definitely subscribe. If you're on YouTube, ring that bell so you can be alerted to when new content comes out. Thank you all for watching.